March.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, so hey girl, hey, welcome to the Hey Girl, Hey podcast. I'm your host, Kim Miller. Thank you for tuning in to episode 40.
Yeah.
We're getting up there. And you guys, so we're doing something a little bit different you will find this week. And I will explain it a little bit later. But I'm getting right into my interview today. And I am so excited. I always say I'm so excited. But let me just tell you how real excited I am. For real. I had like a little bit of butterflies in my stomach today. I am here with my guest, Miss LaShanna Leonard Moore.
Yes.
Say hello.
Thank you, Kim. Hello, everybody. Hey, girl. Hey.
We are going to get into all the things that she does and all of her amazingness. But I already told her that I'm going to fan out for like 5 to 7 minutes because I literally, so when I'm from Houston, lived here up until I was like 2021.
Okay.
And me and some friends used to always go to like the Sunday night concerts, Sunday night services, whatever.
Right.
And we used to come to your dad's church all the time.
Are you serious?
Yes, all the time. It used to be my friend Jannard and Gina.
Yes. I
And
know Gina has done my face. She's beat me a few times.
Listen, and you can ask Gina. She know. I used to just always be like, she's so pretty. LaShanna is so beautiful. And I didn't know you, but I just felt like you were so sweet. Like off the bat, I was like, she seems like such a sweet person. So when I got back to Houston and kind of got in contact with, not in contact, but seeing your social media and the things you were doing, I was like, of course she's like an amazing human person still, because you were amazing back then. And you used to sing. Do you still sing?
Yeah.
Okay, because you used to always sing, and I was
always
your
singing
voice
at the church.
Yeah,
always. Yeah.
So it's so crazy how things just come full circle.
Full circle.
And you were somebody I always looked to for inspiration. And then today, as I'm just preparing for the interview, I'm just like, and I'm like such a girly girl, like I can get emotional, but I'm just like, because I always think the people that come in contact with me or in my life or cross paths, it's always for a specific reason.
Exactly.
And you were talking through, and I don't want to get too much into it, but you were talking through how you got into fitness, how it came from an injury, and all those things. I'm just like, man, I feel like I'm in a space where I need like some type of like transition like you experienced.
Gotcha.
That seemed like it changed your life for fitness and well and all those things. So
yeah.
I was just like so excited, the timing of it.
This is great.
Yes.
Nothing is by accident.
Nothing. So I want to let you get into a little bit of, if someone doesn't know the story of how you got into health and wellness and nutrition, you can give a little bit of story about how you got to that point.
Okay, absolutely. Well, literally every phase and direction of this journey has been a personal experience. And ultimately, I can say beyond a shadow of a doubt that I know that I'm doing what I've been called to do, not just what I'm passionate about, or it's a great hobby, but I literally feel called to do this. And so it started out with fitness. My first degree is theater and dance, performing arts. And so I was preparing to do a Canadian tour dancing, and I wanted to make sure I was in good shape and good health and all of this for the run. So I decided to hire a personal trainer, and I was going to get my body in optimal shape. Well, I didn't ask any questions. It was a learning lesson on so many fronts. I didn't ask any questions. I think this guy had like just a natural physique, genetic natural physique, but he had no certification, no prior knowledge. You know, best friend was the owner of the gym. And I had a few sessions, but long story short, he misfacilitated a workout and ruptured my Achilles tendon.
Oh my goodness.
And that literally shifted the course of my life. I had just stepped out in faith like 4 months prior and opened up my first dance studio. And then this happens.
Wow.
So anyway, going through surgery rehab, and physical therapy. And I just remember hearing God constantly say to me, just trust me, you know, in essence, there's a silver lining behind this. I have something if you just trust me. I was trying to figure it all. That's my personality. I was trying to figure it all out. My business is too young to function financially on its own. I got to get somebody to come in. But anyway, God walked me through that. And so the gentleman that ended up becoming my mentor saw how I was rehabbing, how well I was doing, because I would sit in the chair and teach dance class with the boot and the crutches. And so he took me on and continued to work with me, and then encouraged me to consider fitness. So I started out just doing boot camps. And then because of all of the muscle atrophy from my glute all the way to my calf, I couldn't work out extreme.
Yeah.
So that's where nutrition came in. Nutrition was my lifeline.
Yeah.
Because you're depressed.
Yeah.
You feel like, what am I going to do now? Performing arts was all I knew.
Yeah.
So nutrition became my lifeline. So literally, and from there then wellness and holistic health.
Yeah.
Everything has been a personal testimony. I'm like, okay, God, you ought to test me there.
I know, right?
I don't know what else you're gonna do. I'm
Yeah.
good. But it gave me a deeper connection and investment.
Yeah.
And it helps you identify with people.
For sure. So what did that look like from that point, getting into fitness to where you are now? I know there was probably a lot in between that.
Right.
But going right into like the business side of it, I guess,
Right.
what did that process look like for you?
That was brand new because, again, all I knew was performing arts. I knew about, business 101 for a studio and for teaching and giving lessons and things like that. But this was a completely new world.
Yeah.
So it was important to take the time to not only just invest in the schooling and the education of it,
Right.
but also just the business structure.
Yeah.
And I just took my time. I started in a small room in a gym, and then eventually grew into our own space.
Yeah.
And I was able to incorporate some things that, again, things come full circle. A lot of things I had learned in school for dance, I was able to incorporate a lot of that stuff. So it was just all step by step,
Yes.
learning what this looks like for me, bringing my personality in it, not trying to be like, somebody I saw on social media or what someone else suggested, but learning my personality and my rhythm in it. And that's how Body Fierce was birthed.
So I want to talk about this, and I'll text you a little bit about that, but right now we're in January, everybody's setting goals. If you go to the gym, you see the gyms are packed right now because that's what everybody's doing. But for people that are looking to lose weight, specifically lose weight, what do you say to like people that are doing diets versus lifestyle changes?
Right.
Are diets ever okay, especially when you have like a large amount of weight you're looking to lose?
Right.
What do you feel about that?
I think that diet, the word diet in its fundamental form in terms of how like Western society has labeled it is not healthy.
Yeah.
And sometimes we can use the word diet interchangeably, for the way we eat or goal setting, but because this life is literally it's just customized, it's person to person.
Yeah.
I will always ask people to identify. The first word that I will use is identify. Identify why you need to lose weight and what kind of weight you need to lose.
Okay.
Because we're already intricate as women.
Yeah.
So one woman may need to lose weight because she's been on a lot of medication.
Yeah.
Or another woman because of a diagnosis, or another woman just because of, lifestyle hasn't been the best or eating hasn't been the best.
Right.
Because that's really going to determine the rest of your journey.
Yeah.
You're identifying why you've gained. I went through a period, which is what got me into wellness and holistic health, of being diagnosed with PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, where you have multiple cysts on your ovaries.
Yeah.
And because of that, I became insulin resistant. So that was a major life shift, because me being this Miss Body Fierce, all of a sudden I'm gaining weight that I cannot lose.
Yeah.
And I know what to do, and it's not working.
Okay.
So I had to learn a completely new holistic route.
Yeah.
And that's one reason why I encourage women, okay, let's find out your why. Because women can work out with trainers all the time, especially if they're male and they don't really know about the woman's body. Or they can be working at something so hard, or dieting, and maybe not eating the right thing based on what their body. If you're insulin resistant, you may be eating a lot of greens, for example, and certain greens are harmful. Or if you've got thyroid issues, you don't need a lot of kale.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So going back to your question, I'll ask women, let's identify your reason and your need.
Yeah.
And then from there, you have to look at, okay, how am I using the word diet?
Yeah.
What's my intention on the word itself?
And so, is it ever okay to do like these fad diets, do you feel, or are they most likely harmful?
I never encourage it. Only because they're not sustainable.
Yeah.
Now, there are times that we need something quick, and we have a goal. Like, for example, that happens often in my life. If I have if I have an appearance of some kind, or my husband who travels and sings all the time, and shout out to my baby, boo, and he's up for a Grammy. So let's say, for example, okay, we're getting ready to go to the Grammys this weekend, and I've got to be really, really mindful of my look.
Yeah.
There may be something I decide to do leading up to.
Okay.
But here is the thing. This is what I've learned in my career. It has to be sustainable.
Yeah.
And it has to be harmless for my body.
Okay.
Even, and I can share some things, even if it's like a quick booster.
Okay.
Because we've got too much to consider. You can't throw your thyroid out of whack, your hormones, and you may not even be aware.
Right.
You know, women are oftentimes, you're doing it because, you know, okay, I gotta make a change.
Yeah.
Or there's a desperation or a sense of urgency.
Yeah.
So I use this acronym ICE, ICE, identify,
okay,
and then consult, and then explore and experiment.
Okay.
And so those three things, when a woman is looking to make a life change: identify, what we just talked about, consult someone. It's a trendy world, it's a social media driven world, and then we get this peer-to-peer advice. Talk to someone or find information that has been verified, that promotes living well, and not just reaching a goal, because after the goal, okay, how do I live with it? How do I sustain this? Life is gonna happen. I may get depressed. I may fall on hard times. How am I going to think about maintaining?
That's good. That's really good. And you hit on a few times, like the stress factor, or depression that people can struggle with. How do you speak to that? That would be kind of from the holistic approach, or the more mental health side of things. How do you deal with that in terms of health and wellness?
Well, stress is a part of life, but I also inform those that are listening that stress is not always a negative thing. We've got positive stressors. But a lot of times, because of what the dynamic of life, we're leaning more toward the more debilitating stressors of life. So because everybody experiences stress and anxiety and maybe even bouts of depression, I like to, I'm a roots person. I like to focus on the root. I went through a period in my life where I was bad. I was a functional depressant. And you wouldn't know, you know, because you do everything you need to do. And we're women too. We know how to juggle and manage, you know. So no one can see it. And then behind closed doors, for me, I just had no passion, no interest, no desire for no drive, no hunger for anything. To celebrate my birthday, to go out, to engage. I had no drive for anything. And so what I learned during my season of going through was that you really do have to deal with the root. A lot of times you're stressed out about something because you feel like something is out of your control. Or you're depressed because there is undealt with anger, or anger turned inside out. Some counselors will identify depression as anger turned inside out. So when your emotions have overcome you, and for so many people they resort to unhealthy eating, or not eating. You know, sometimes we don't highlight that. Sometimes we under eating. We're not eating enough. But a lot of times we go to food because of that brain gut connection, the emotional thing. I like to deal with the roots. When it comes to someone who's really dealing with some emotional damage or trauma, because until you get to that root, you really can't pull back layers and discover what other changes need to be made that will be, again, lasting, you know, sustainable.
So do you consider yourself like you do counseling as well? So that is all tied in there.
It's holistic counseling, which means that typically what that means is I use the 5 cycles of wellness to work through, you know, internal issues. Physical wellness, spiritual wellness, mental emotional wellness are under one, social wellness, and intellectual wellness.
Can you talk a little bit about each one of those? Because I have never heard some of those. The physical I can probably identify with, but the other ones, can you just give like a brief synopsis of what they are?
Absolutely. So each of those cycles, all 5 cycles, encourage the person to look within.
Okay.
And ask yourself questions, because you got a workbook life sometimes.
Yeah.
You know. So with physical wellness, it's asking myself, am I well in my body?
Yeah.
How is my body? How is my body feeling? How do I treat my body? It's asking yourself a series of questions that lend to the physical assessment.
Okay.
Not a grade in terms of critique or judgment.
Okay.
But helping a person to get in tune with the body, like listening to the body. Where am I feeling heavy? Where am I feeling weak? Where am I feeling numb?
Yeah.
Where am I feeling stronger? Where am I feeling or experiencing pain?
Yeah.
Things like that. Really getting in touch with what the body is trying to message.
Mm-hmm.
Is physical wellness. And then on the more popular aspect is how often am I moving?
Okay.
Sometimes it's not about exercise. Sometimes it's about physical movement.
Yeah.
Especially as we get older, you've got to, it's more important to be active, to be moving around.
Yeah.
So that's physical wellness.
Okay.
Spiritual wellness is, am I full on the inside? Is my spirit full? Am I empty? What's feeding me? Is my spirit providing me with what I need so that I'm thinking healthy and speaking healthy?
Yeah.
Where am I on the odometer, full and empty? Where is my center?
Yeah.
Where's my recourse? What speaks into me? That's spiritual wellness.
Okay.
And then mental and emotional wellness is, how am I thinking? How am I feeling?
Yeah.
What thoughts am I meditating on or rehearsing?
Yeah.
What information am I receiving and downloading into me that's affecting how I think and how I feel? Because whatever we think, I mean, we hear it all the time, but it's really true.
Yeah.
What we think affects how we feel.
Right, for sure.
Yeah. And then ultimately, it will affect what we do.
Yeah.
That becomes a habit or repetition, and then it becomes a lifestyle.
Yeah.
Social is my surroundings.
Okay.
People. We talk about energies a lot. You hear people, using that play on word about energies, but we all, because we are a big capsule of matter that God has created.
Yeah.
I'm a Christian, so I always have to, use my belief as the core of life. Because God has created us the way that He has, with a spirit, with a mind, with a way to perceive and discern. We do have an energy inside of us. And so social wellness is about who am I entertaining, or who's feeding me.
Right.
All of those things. Everything around you.
Yeah.
And then lastly is intellectual wellness. It's how am I educating myself. It's twofold. Intellectual wellness is how am I continuing to educate myself, be a student of life.
Yeah.
And then also, how am I giving back? It's more of the outreach part.
Okay.
How am I giving and sowing seed into something or someone else?
Yeah, man,
so
that's
you put
all
all
good.
of that together.
You gonna have a diagnosis by the end of that. Yes.
Like, it gives you enough to really start working on aligning
For sure.
life a little at a time.
Yeah.
It's never perfect.
Yeah.
But as you know more and know better, then you can do better.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is so good. I could talk to you
I know
all
that was
day.
a lot.
It was a lot, but I'm like, man, that's deep. Like, it makes sense that you would be able to really help someone knowing all those pieces of the puzzle. And how can you help if you don't know, really?
Right.
That's so good.
Yeah. And people need to realize that, because, a lot of times we're not raised or taught to really take the time to process systems or our whys.
Yeah.
We grow up under a system, under a regime.
And we just
Parents do the best they can.
Yeah.
And you just kind of adopt it, and you may make some edits in life along the way.
Yeah.
But, ultimately, you may have to unlearn some stuff.
Sure.
Yeah. Or add on some things.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think everybody does.
Yeah.
But we don't, but we do need
right.
to. Yeah. So you said so much, but I don't want to take too much time from that. But I always see your videos of you cooking and all the things that you do with that, which is always amazing.
I'm an amateur chef, y'all.
You are a good chef. And you did something like, I'm a sweets girl. Yeah. That's my biggest struggle. Yeah. You did something recently that I want to try.
Oh, that
with
berry
the
delight.
Yes.
Yes, you have to try it.
That's right up my alley. I'm trying it.
So good.
I'm going to try it.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm going to report back how it goes.
Please do. Let me know how you like it.
Yes. But so you do a lot of cooking for your husband. Obviously, y'all eat together. Y'all are married. Yeah. How does that work? Because I know for me, sometimes the man doesn't always want to do the right thing. Right. And that's a big struggle for me. When I'm trying to do right, he want to do wrong. And vice versa. Right. Sometimes we fail to hold each other up.
Yeah.
But how does that work for you within your marriage? Like, you bring in all your knowledge and all your wealth of nutrition to the relationship.
Well, I think I'm blessed because actually Gene is pretty conscious of what he eats. He was one of those people that years ago the doctor told him he was on the borderline of, being pre-diabetic, high blood pressure. So before we got together, he had already kind of taken a course of action.
Okay.
He had to drop weight. He didn't want to be on medication.
Yeah.
He just didn't want that kind of lifestyle. So he had, again, already taken, a course of action for himself.
Yeah.
Now, of course, here I come with all of this just taking
to the next level. Yes.
But I had determined that I wasn't going to try to convert or change anything. I knew being older that it was not my responsibility to change him. Yeah. So I was willing to do 2 different styles if I needed to.
Okay.
But thankfully it worked out.
Yeah.
To where we both watch, salt intake. We do eat poultry. I do not label my eating.
Okay.
So I'm not a whatatarian of any kind.
Okay.
I believe in lifestyle eating.
Okay.
He does too, which is whatever the body requires.
Yeah.
And that's because we're continuing to live. So I can't say today what my body's going to need 10 years down the line.
Right.
And if I leave my body open to receive what it needs, I don't have to worry about being restricted by a label or a do or don't, unless it's, moral or religious. Some people would, choose for that reason. If it's not, you have to keep yourself open for what does my body need today?
Yeah.
What does my body need for this season? So that's really how we eat. But however, I run across people and clients all the time that have that same challenge.
Yeah.
And my one recommendation is be willing to be creative.
Okay.
Because when we're dealing with family members and in the kitchen, if they know something is different,
it's mental. Yes, most of the time, yes.
If they know something is different, then they may be a little more combative or resistant.
Yeah.
With kids too.
Yeah. So
being creative about the alternatives. We are in a wellness age now. We in wellness overdrive.
Yes.
So there's always a way to substitute something without losing the taste.
Yeah.
And then really kind of redefining the kitchen.
Yeah. And
then sometimes you don't have to announce. It's kind of based on the dynamic of the relationship. You don't have to announce the changes that are being made in the kitchen. Just start substituting things. Let the biggest teacher is always experience and watching somebody else's consistency.
Yeah.
If they experience that, wow, I made this change and I didn't miss nothing but the taste.
Yeah.
Because I'm like that with sweets.
Yeah.
I'm a sweet eater and I'm true to my taste buds.
Okay.
I'm true to my health, but my taste buds will not lie to me.
Yes.
So if I'm gonna make an adjustment, it has to satisfy my enjoyment experience of eating as well as my body.
Yeah.
So creativity is the biggest thing.
Yeah, you're real creative. I gotta do better. So what does that look like? Like, what is a day-to-day meal plan for you and your household? Like, what does it look like? Breakfast, lunch, dinner? Are you a snacker? Do you have dessert daily? Like, what does that look like for you?
Well, because of where I am now in my life, I don't have any fitness goals. I'm doing wellness living and lifestyle eating. I will pretty much enjoy what I want to in moderation.
Okay.
Now there are some major changes that we did make though. So like we don't drink or eat anything dairy based.
Okay.
For Gene, it was almost necessary because of asthma and allergies, environmental allergies.
Okay.
And here in Houston, the mold is high.
Yeah.
He's severely allergic to mold.
Oh wow.
So when we got together, we eliminated several things.
Okay.
Dairy, soy, wheat. What else? Those are the main factors. We do meat, but the meat does have to be antibiotic free.
Okay.
And within those ramifications, I just designed a lifestyle, an eating lifestyle.
Yeah.
And then once you got it set, then you're really good. The beginning can be challenging.
Right.
Like if you're going from 0 to 10, it
hard.
can feel overwhelming.
Right.
But I was already in the field and had already made adjustments, so it made it a lot easier for him to make the adjustments.
Yeah.
And so a typical day, if he's in town again, because he's traveling a lot, I will cook.
Okay.
I mean, we'll have pretty much whatever we want. If we want a meat for breakfast, as long we don't do pork and beef.
Okay.
But you know, we'll have a high protein because you want that for energy, cell, muscle building.
Okay.
And then I'll do a complex carb, like maybe steel cut oatmeal.
Okay.
Some good antioxidants like berries. They're low sugar, but they are flavorful.
Yeah.
And antioxidants because antioxidants work with generating cells.
Okay.
So, you know, we may do like eggs, steel cut oatmeal, and some fresh fruit.
Yeah.
Or I may be in the mood to spend a little more time in the kitchen based on how I feel.
Yeah.
What kind of time I've got.
Right.
And I'll do something like sweet potato pancakes.
Oh.
You know, with turkey sausage, turkey bacon, or eggs.
Yeah.
You know, just kind of based on what kind of mood we're in. We do snack. The snacks are gonna, you know, have just, let me speed my answer along. Have its own little regimen.
Okay.
You know, no soy, gluten, wheat.
Yeah.
We'll snack. Lunch is going to be pretty much vegetables and protein.
Okay.
And then for dinner, with wellness eating, you change the size of your protein.
Okay.
So protein really is regarded like a side dish. We grew up as meat being the main thing, the main course. But because so much has changed in agriculture and farming, then you minimize your protein and you amp up the vegetables. Okay. So I'll do maybe 2 or 3 vegetables and a side of fish or something like that, you know.
So you're not doing no carbs, really?
Well, we don't do a lot of simple carbs.
Okay.
We'll do like we'll do potatoes. I'll do white and red potatoes. What else? We'll do brown rice, black rice. If you haven't tried black rice,
I never tried black rice.
We'll do beans and legumes. Every blue moon we'll do some white rice. White rice is not evil.
Yeah.
You know, it has its pros in terms of the glycogen, the energy that it brings.
But pasta, you
we'll do pasta, but it will be fresh pasta.
Okay.
Like we do a lot of fresh pasta.
Okay.
We'll do linguine and fettuccine and spaghetti. It'll be gluten free.
Okay.
You know, whole wheat.
Yeah. And
it's frozen. So even the bread is a good question. Even the bread, we don't do any shelf bread. We do the frozen bread that's
I don't even know
seed
what that is,
sprouted.
What? What are you saying to me right now? Frozen? Where do you get this from?
So you're gonna go to like the frozen section,
Okay.
like where you find the frozen veggies.
Yeah.
Down those aisles where the freezers are.
Yeah.
And it's seed sprouted, so it's not all of the refined flours.
Oh.
It's not all the man-made ingredients and synthetics that are in shelf bread.
Yeah.
That again wreak havoc on our hormones.
Yeah.
Your adrenal glands. So we start having issues. Our men start to look softer and curvier because their hormones are changing.
Yeah.
Or brain fogging. It gets real deep.
Yeah.
But so we'll do bread and we'll do what was the other thing that you had mentioned? Pasta, but it will be seed sprouted or be frozen.
Yeah.
Frozen or fresh pasta. And then the bread, it'll be seed sprouted bread from the seed. So it doesn't require all those preservatives.
Yeah.
Which is why it has to be frozen.
Wow.
Yeah, it makes a big.
Really?
Yes.
I really feel like my husband has a gluten allergy, but he has not been diagnosed. But he does get like sick to his stomach very often to me when he eats bread or some pastas. So I'm gonna try that and see how that works out.
Those small changes, literally, because this whole thing can be overwhelming.
Yeah.
You cannot do it all at once.
Yeah.
But little changes like that, a little at a time, make a big difference.
Yeah.
I call them foods that heal.
Yes. You're so good. I love it.
I try.
So what do you do for the mental health? Like, what is your? Can you give a little bit of your processes to help somebody going through mental health challenges? Are you a meditation person? Like, what are some things that you can give someone for very day-to-day help with that?
Good question. For mental health, I definitely encourage. Well, one thing you have to do is that you have to get out of your head.
Yeah.
And go against the feeling of isolation, and you have to talk to somebody. Find someone who you consider a confidant or trusting, or if you have to pay for that person.
Yes.
You know, by way of therapy or counseling. I've been there.
Yeah.
I've been there before. It was a lifesaver. But you got to get out of your head. You cannot rationalize when you're in a mentally disturbed or imbalanced state.
Yeah.
It's also biochemical, you know, so there's a biology to that. So I'll say get out of your head, talk to someone, talk to a friend, let them know, let someone know.
Yeah.
And for women of color, that can be challenging. For men of color, that can be challenging. But get out of your head and talk to someone, let them know what you're dealing with. They may or may not have answers.
Yeah.
But being able to transfer out of you what's that tormenting cycle or that distressed cycle that's going on does matter.
Yeah.
I encourage praying. I pray specifically scripture for me.
Okay.
I pray scripture. For some people, it's meditation. And if you are a person that meditates, it's a practice of getting yourself still. So that involves breathing techniques.
Yeah.
You know, learning different types of breathing techniques that settle the body. When your mind is still, your heart will settle down.
Okay.
Once your heart settles down, the body will respond. Your body will adhere to the heart's calmer rhythm.
Yeah.
That's a practice.
Okay.
Some people meditate with music based on a religion or culture. Some people meditate with chants, you know, or cadences.
Yeah.
For me, when I meditate, I will start with the breathing. I find my posture of relaxation that may change from day to day. I may be what we call in the Christian arena prostrate, which is flat on my face. I may be an Indian style. I may feel like I want to sit in the corner. You have to find what works, and there's not a one size fits all.
Yeah.
But you start with breathing, and then you have to have a focal point. So for me as a believer, I focus on the cross with a light in the center of it. That's the picture that I create for myself. The cross of Christ, because what he did was an act of love to me, for me, and then a light because I need to feel some type of illumination, some type of lifting, you know, freedom. And so meditation is great. Really foods that heal. What happens is when you're stressed, your serotonin levels are low. People that have Alzheimer's and dementia, same thing. Serotonin levels are low. So they're literally foods that you can eat that will boost your mood. Pineapple, cherries, your antioxidant berries, turkey slices have serotonin, tryptophan in them. These are feel-good enzymes that literally help to lift and lighten the mood. So you can eat to heal, meditate. I'm a bullets person, so I'm thinking about what I said. Talk with someone. You need to have an outlet. You need to have a hobby. And we lose that as adults when life is happening. You gotta either find a new one or go back and rekindle your relationship with something that brings you joy. And then honestly, exercising or being physical really helps with mental distress.
That was so good. I love the one about the hobby because I tell a lot of friends that because you're right, you do lose that. What is like your hobby? What do you do?
I'm your poster child for the person who got so busy and got so regimented and systematic that I lost it. You know, I had to go back to dance. And I had to make it happen because what happened was when I got into health and wellness, man, I became so systematic and regimented and operational driven, and like my spontaneity left, my impulse, all the color in my life. I'm like, girl, you know, ain't no retentive, and all of this, and so you get stressed because you're already adulting.
Right.
You know, then running a business and everything. So I determined last year that I was going to go back to dance.
Okay.
And I started back taking dance classes. I started with, I said, LaShanna, just do 1 day a week.
Yeah.
You know, we start with these big
right.
goals. No, man.
Let's start with one.
I was like, let's do 1 class a week.
Yeah.
So for me, I went back to dance. Performing arts is it. And cooking now has become more of therapy and fun and lets me be creative and it's chemistry and you smelling and listening and tasting and all that. Yeah.
That is so good. And I can tell that you are enjoying and loving when you're cooking.
Can you really?
Yes.
Oh, well, good.
That's I'm like, I want to try that.
The process is can be laborious, but you know, especially when you're filming it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
I enjoy it.
You're doing a great job too.
Thank you.
So what is next for you? Like, what does the next year or 5 years look like for the LaShanna Moore, LaShanna Leonard Moore business and brand?
I do have some. I have some aspirations. I have some goals on paper. But I have really learned also to, not trying to sound deep, but let God lead the way. And I'll tell you why. 2019, Gene and I saw so much death.
Yeah.
We saw, you know, spouses burying each other.
Yes.
We saw, you know, parents burying children.
Yeah.
I had friends losing parents. And so the last one that we experienced, Pastor Tony Evans in Dallas, Texas, lost his wife.
Yes.
And Gene had to sing for their New Year's. She had just passed like a day or two before.
Oh, wow.
And he had to sing at both of their New Year Eve services.
Okay.
So this had already kind of been marinating in my spirit. But when that man got up after being married for 40 plus years, and both of them were 70, and were just making plans for the next chapter.
Yeah.
They were making plans for what they wanted to do now after 70.
Wow.
And now she's gone.
Yeah.
He got up and he said, make your plans, be ambitious, go after it, go for the goal, do all of that, but always leave room for God. You know, always make room for God. And so now that's literally what I have said.
Yeah.
God, this is what I believe you called me to.
Yeah.
And these are the things I want to do. I hope you bless it.
Yeah.
But I'm pulling back.
Yes.
So with that being said, I do want to have like a wellness network.
Okay.
Media network.
Yeah.
You know, kind of like the Food Network, but it's from a wellness and well-being perspective.
Yeah.
That's one thing. And then eventually do like a holistic cookbook or recipe book. It takes so much time.
Really?
It takes a lot of time and patience. But that's the other drive that I have. And it's continuing to speak. That's the big passion I have. The rest of it, Kim, I am leaving room for God to tell me what, you know. I know that may not be like the popular response, but for him to literally tell me what he has in the plan, and as I receive that, just continue to do the things that I know I'm called to do.
I love that. No, that's really good though, because we can get overwhelmed with even our own plans and goals, and you don't leave room, and then when something changes, you're devastated.
Right.
I remember going into my I had a delivery plan with my daughter, and I remember saying that thing, like, I have these very specific things I'm believing you for, God, but if you choose to do something else, my prayer was just whatever gets my baby here healthy and gets me there healthy on the other side. So I love that you said that with goals, because I'm really big on goals. But I think I wasn't even leaving that little room to say whatever you want to do, God.
Right. And I've thought about that too with future child birth. Like, I have my idea. But now I've learned, LaShanna, said, you know, put your little plan together. But let's see. Let's just see what happens.
Because he knows what's best, and like he knows what's best ultimately. So we gotta he wants to see that we're giving him that permission.
Right. Leave that space.
Yeah. Leave that little space.
Leave this. It makes a difference. And I think it makes a difference too in how we respond to the unexpected.
Yes.
If we, you know, are not just, our hands are clenched so tight on the wheel that it's got to be like this. We just, you know, release a little bit.
Yes. That's good. I hope y'all getting all this. This is good. You should do like a women's retreat, like a wellness retreat.
I'm thinking about it.
I know so many women that would love it.
Really?
Like literally, if you say next month we doing it, we there.
Excellent. Well, I'm gonna hold you to that then, though, because I really have thought about it.
Yeah.
It's been on my heart for a while, and it's a part of my plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you see a lot of people doing it, but for me, like, I love that. And I don't want to say, like, if you're not a Christian, I can't do nothing with you, but it's something special when you have somebody who is a Christian, but also has all these other elements to it.
Yeah.
It's holistic, like
It's
like
true.
your specialty, because it's like sometimes you can only go so far with other people because then they kind of get into something else that you're like, wait a minute, what?
Yeah,
What are
right,
you talking about?
Where's this coming from?
But, you know, I love that you, and I know, like, I'm telling you, I know 20 women offhand that would love that. Love that.
Well,
I know
I'm
so
glad
many people.
to hear that. Yeah,
Yes.
we're considering, say we, my husband and I, have been considering me putting something together like that, as well as like a a cooking demo,
all of that.
having a kitchen night,
All of that.
and answering questions, healing inflammation, or what's going on,
Yeah.
and how do you actually prepare a meal for these kind of things or these challenges. Like when I was trying to get myself together with these sweets, I had a sit down with me and a gallon of Bluebell ice cream. I did. Like when I was starting this journey, this was back in 2009, and I was like, okay, I got to get it together.
Yeah.
That was like the family staple.
Yes.
My family's from Louisiana. Everybody had Bluebell in their freezer.
Bluebell's what it is, yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
When I moved to LA, I'm like, oh Lord, they ain't got
They
no
don't
Bluebell.
got no Bluebell. No.
So I already knew like that was gonna be my challenge.
Yeah.
I literally sat down. I was like, all right, listen, we're gonna have to redefine our relationship.
Yes.
You cannot be my go-to.
You
We're gonna have to do some things differently. Listen, I got it. It's not you. It's me.
I
gotta change.
I need to have that talk, girl. We ain't at that meeting yet. That's my go-to.
Yeah.
Ice cream is my go-to.
Right.
So I need help in that
Yeah.
area for sure.
I found some good salvations for you, though.
Really?
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna hit you up when I'm having a day.
I will. Help
And
you
this
out.
is like, I don't want to go off topic, but I do want to ask you, how does it work with you and Jean? Y'all are both like such powerhouses and got so much going on. How do you balance like your life?
It is a balance.
Yeah.
It's management. First of all, our friendship, which means for us that we communicate about everything.
Yeah.
And then we're both alpha, male and female, which could really mean Clash of the Titans.
Yeah.
But we have made a commitment to compromise with each other.
Yeah.
And then that there's just some stuff we ain't got time for.
Yeah.
We don't have time to nitpick about everything.
Yeah.
We want God to use us, use our lives, and we want to grow together.
Yeah.
So we've learned how to pick our battles. We synchronize our calendars.
Okay.
We do check-ins.
Yeah.
You have to do emotional check-ins because you get used to just this rhythm around each other. And try to keep a date night. He'll remind me or I'll remind him, that we get together and try to spend intentional time with it really makes a difference.
It does. Yeah, for sure.
Sometimes it's a date morning, a date day, a date hour,
whatever,
based on what life will provide.
Yeah.
But making those kind of commitments to each other. So far, I'm just a year and some change in, y'all. But making that kind of layout for our life is working. Yeah, and trying to, when we can, like physically pray together. Something about grabbing hands and making that moment happen to pray together just does something for the spirit, and it draws us. So those are some things that we're doing to keep it healthy.
Well, y'all are such a beautiful couple. Keep it going.
Thank you.
But I'm so excited. We could wrap, but thank you for all this information.
It's my pleasure.
And I know I'll have a ton of questions, and you're so sweet. You're my friend now, so I'm be hitting you up.
Yes. Did I answer your question?
You did. You absolutely did. I feel like I could talk to you all night, but if we have any follow-up questions, I would love to circle back with you, because I just feel like this month specifically, and that's why I'm so glad you were available this month, because everybody is trying to figure how they want their year to look, how they want their future to look.
Right.
And you said so many great things.
Start with those 5 cycles of wellness, you all, and it is on the website too. on the website, and the podcast breaks it as the very first episode I ever did.
Okay. Yeah. Can you talk about all everywhere that they can find you and all your information?
Absolutely. Yeah. So my website is my name, LaShannalindamore.com.
Okay.
A lot of resources on there. If you forget anything else, the podcast is on there. The brand is called The Well Life.
Okay.
So our podcast is called The Well Life Podcast.
Mm-hmm.
We have a digital magazine called The Well Life Magazine.
Oh, yes.
And working on a collection for women, natural products, beauty and body products
Okay.
called Well Life.